So in this video, we're going to check out episode 5 of the sequencer basics of the Polyend tracker. Make sure to watch the previous episodes since we're building up from the first. It is recommended to watch this video until it all sinks in. Even if you take out 5 minutes a day, you'll start to see some results. We're going to keep things as simple as possible, so just like last episode, we're going to have just 3 drum samples. So we're going to press File and choose New Project. If you have another project, you can save that here. I'm just not going to save. Now we're going to press Sample Loader. Then we can see that SD card in the instrument slots. Let's load in first a kick. All right, let's preview some of these. Okay, let's press Add Next. You can see it loaded and went down a slot. And press Left, Enter. Let's check out some snare drums. Choose that one. Let's check out some hi-hats. Okay, let's add that one. Now we're going to press Pattern. What we're going to do is go to the top, so Shift Home. We're going to generate a beat using the Euclidean fill function. So we have to make sure we hold down Shift, press up, enable record, and you'll see it's red. Let's press Fill. Now we'll start here and move across. So it says where, we're going to choose Euclidean. Now events are the amount of note hits spread across the step number of the pattern. So let's check it out. For the kick, we're going to make the events at 24. Scale chromatic, fill type constant. Note we're going to change that to C5. So that's our default pitch. Now we press fill. Now we can see it filled in. Turn off record. So that's the rhythm that it made. Now let's undo. Now I'm going to press fill. Now we'll change the events. So let's make it less. So maybe 11, fill. Now let's listen to it. Let's press undo. Fill. Change the events. Let's make it 9. Let's see what that sounds like. All right, let's gonna undo again. Press fill. Let's make the events 12. Okay, now let's go to the next column. Hold down instrument and we can press here. That's the snare. Now enable record, shift up, fill. So now let's change the events to 10 and we see it's chromatic constant C5. Fill. So now I'm just going to delete this first one. Now let's listen to it. So I can go through and maybe erase some of them or listen to it. If I think it's too many snares, I can just delete it. Now let's go to the next column. Let's choose instrument and the hi-hat. Now if record is enabled, it actually puts in a note there, so let's delete it. Shift up, fill. Let's change events to 16. Now, it's going to be every other note in this pattern because 16 is half of 32. And since it evenly distributes half of it, that's the result. The pattern length is 32. So half of the pattern length will have one note every other row, as we can see. Okay, so now I want to illustrate one way that we can expand our drum single hit sounds into stereo. Let's load in different samples for kick, snare, and hi-hat. So let's go back to Sample Loader. Now we're just going to load. Let's load kick drum. Okay, add next. Now let's go get a snare. add that one. Now let's get another hi-hat. Let's go back to pattern. Now we're going to go all the way to the first column, shift home, press shift up, shift right. Now we have all that highlighted. We're going to press copy. Now we're going to move to the next column that's blank, shift paste, shift home. Now we're going to press shift up, over. So we're just highlighting what we just pasted. Now I'm going to press instrument, and this is key. You have to turn it until it starts with 4, because that's where the new kick drum is. So if I hold down instrument and then choose kick drum, for example, it's going to change all of them to the kick drum. That's not what I want to do. So we can hear, okay, we have a lot more drum sounds. What I'm going to do is go into instrument parameters, and we're going to pan out each set of the kick drum, snare drum, and a hi-hat. So let's do that. So I'm holding down instrument. I press this one. Let's go to panning and go all the way to -50. -50, -50. Now let's go to this, which is the new kick drum. Now let's pan that up. Now that's panning 50. Let's change that to 50 and that to 50. Now if we go to pattern, we can hear what we just did. But there's an issue here. We're taking up 6 tracks. And that just leaves us with only 7 and 8. Now we can work with that if we want, but we could do something different. Let's start over and try something different. Let's go to a new pattern, shift home. Now we're going to highlight the whole column, shift up, record, make sure we're on the first kick drum. Now we're just going to use fill, and let's choose Euclidean. Let's change the events. Let's make it 20, for example. Fill. Now we're going to press instrument, and we still have that column selected. So we're going to press fill. Now we're going to choose random, and we have density here. So let's bring it way down. Then we're going to choose random, and it's just going to be from the first kick drum to the hi-hat. We're going to press fill. Now we're going to see. So it just made that beat. If we don't like it, undo, and then fill. Do it again. Let's turn up the density a little. Fill. See what that sounds like. Undo. Fill. Let's bring up the density a little. Fill. Play. Let's say we like that. So copy and then paste. Shift home up, and then we're going to turn this till it says 4. There we go. Now let's listen to the whole thing. I can also delete different sides, so that might sound pretty cool. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So I'm just deleting them here and there. Let's hear what it sounds like. So you can make interesting beats and sounds. I'm not even using any effects on these tracks. Let's go to a new pattern. Now I'm just actually going to play it in. We have step jump 0. We have 32 length. So I'm just going to start with these 3. I'm just going to put in hi-hats and snares. About every other row. Okay, let's listen to it. So I like that. Let's go to the home, copy, paste, and then we're going to turn it to 4. Now we'll listen to both. So that's only 2 tracks, and now we have all the way from 3 to 8. Okay, so we're going to just load in a single waveform. We're actually going to enter it in all the way down to 13, so it'll be right here when we select an instrument. So check the link in the description below for the akwf waveforms if you don't have it. We're just going to pick a random one. Choose Add, Sample Playback, Forward Loop, Instrument Parameters. Let's turn the volume down just in case it's harsh. Filter type, Low Pass. Turn it down. Let's turn the tune all the way up. We're going to go more, reverb, and a little bit of delay. Let's go in the pattern here. So I have to choose 13. So let's add some notes. Let's choose Stop Jump 2. Stop jump back to 0. Let's check it out. We can add maybe another melody over it. Let's listen to it. Now actually, I want that note to stop. Okay, so what I want to do is go to Instrument Parameters, make sure we're on page 2, and we're on Volume, Envelope, turn Sustain all the way down. Let's turn Decay up, listen to it. Okay, so it'll fade out. Let's make it kind of short. Let's listen to it. Now we hear the bass. Let's actually turn it up a little. Turn down the cutoff. Let's change the beat. All right, let's highlight, shift up and to the right, and just press delete. Now we'll go into Instrument, choose Kick Drum. Let's just add, we're simple beat. Make sure we're in Instrument. We're going to press Kick. All right, let's see what that sounds like. All right, I messed up here. So here, I don't like how I did 2 kick drums. So let's fix this right here. We're going to make that a snare. Now let's listen to it. Okay, that's what I want. Now just copy, paste, highlight, turn the instrument to 4. There we go. Now it's going to be panned out. I have a note. We're going to add this instrument. We're going to add some notes. Let's go to the next pattern. Now we're going to do Euclidean fill. Just going to add it right here. Let's make it maybe 13 fill. Now I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to paste it. Instrument, and we're going to turn it to 4. Now what I'm going to do is choose Instrument, Melodic. Let's choose 13. So now we're going to highlight, we're going to choose Fill. We're going to actually fill it with the same events. Let's make it, instead of chromatic, because it's probably not going to sound too musical, we're going to choose a scale. So let's choose Dorian, and then we can choose from to or random. Let's make it maybe C4 to to C6 and press fill. Now it's going to be at the same rhythm as the beat. Now if you don't like some of the notes, you can just pull them out or turn. See what sounds best. You can like maybe highlight this, you can copy it, go down a little, paste it. Let's go up a little. Now I'm going to go up here, hold down shift and transpose it up an octave. Now what I can do is highlight all of this. Let's go to effects 2. I'm just going to choose chance. Now we're going to fill. We're going to choose random. Change the density. Let's make it a little lower. We're going to choose chance and then random. We'll make it from 0 to 25. So now if we listen to it, it's going to be more sparse. Let's actually undo that. We're going to go back into fill. And now I'm going to make the density much more. Actually, let's change this to each. And we're going to make it each step. It's going to have a very low chance. So fill. Now it's every step is going to have a very low chance. Now I can turn the knob, make it more likely to hit. Let's turn it up. Now it doesn't have to be the whole pattern like I did, but you can get some sort of generative feeling when you're working with this. So for melodic, you can also apply the same thing, pan it out, and then make it sound a lot bigger in stereo. It doesn't take a lot of tracks. This is only 4 tracks, and there's tons more room here. Let's make a pattern, length 4. Let's choose a melodic instrument. Let's choose some notes. Turn down the tempo. Turn on the cutoff. Now let's press more. Let's expand the pattern. Now let's duplicate it. Let's add more notes. Let's highlight some of this. Let's move it up an octave. Now let's take this part, and then we can copy it and paste it somewhere else. Maybe almost randomly. See what happens. Maybe insert. So insert here. So let's play around with insert and backspace. Let's undo. Bring it back up. Let's press play. We can highlight everything. And then let's fill on the instrument. And let's make it random from that waveform to that. Let's actually make it from this waveform to this waveform. Bring the density down a little, fill. Now let's listen to it. So it definitely sounds different, especially if I'm working with cutoff on the different instruments. So you can hear. Let's go to the next instrument. Let's change that cutoff. Maybe turn it up. Next instrument, bring that up. Open up the cutoff. So I could kind of randomly go through here, highlight stuff, copy it, and then paste it somewhere else. And then highlight that, and then maybe octave down. Note, shift, octave down, octave up. I can highlight the whole thing and change the pitch. So I can transpose the entire pattern. So it definitely has a lot of reverb, and let's add some more delay. Let's turn up the reverb on both instruments. Different results from very little material here. We're only at a 16 length pattern. So let's go to the top. Let's try that effects where we fill on chance. We're going to make it random. Let's keep it low for now so it's not too much. And let's listen. Unmuting everything. So it sounds much different. Just pressing undo. Let's do this again with more chance. Maybe we can turn the tempo way down. Drone it in reverb. Down cutoff. So there we go. We have higher octave. Let's check out fine tune. LFO, mount, turn it down. The same on the next one. Bring it all an octave down. Let's turn down the chance, more sparse. Can even shrink the pattern, so now it's going to compress it. Let's see what happens now. Let's turn up the chance. Let's make the tempo faster. Turn down the cutoff. Let's make that even faster tempo.